right, welcome everyone. This is the panel for student advising at Emory. Please make yourselves at home as you enter. We're just gonna wait a couple seconds for everyone to get started. Hope you're all super excited and feeling that great energy because we just want to celebrate all of you first and foremost as newly admitted students to Emory. This is a really great achievement for all of you. I understand that some of you are ED1 and ED2 admits, but the largest number of students who we're going to admit to Emory are going to be through our regular decision plan. So for all of you, welcome and congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right.
Seems like a good time to move on to the congratulations.
Sure, we can we can land here. I'm gonna give it another minute, I think, as people roll in. I see the attendance number is steadily climbing. Just want to make sure that everyone hears the housekeeping announcements I have to give.
And they can see if you come, you get a free pennant and t-shirt as well.
Yes.
Added bonus.
And a Coke bottle.
That's right. And a free bottle of Coke.
All right, well, I think we have stabilized a bit. So I'll go ahead and officially introduce myself. My name is Talyn Fan, and I'm a member of the undergraduate admissions staff at Emory. And again, on behalf of myself and the entire team, I just want to extend our sincerest congratulations on your acceptance to Emory, whether that was Emory College, Oxford College, or both colleges. We look forward to you potentially coming to join the Emory community as first-year students. I hope you're all really proud of yourselves. I'm sure that your parents or supporters are too. Hi, parents and family, if you're here on this call as well. So thank you for joining our academic advising and success panel tonight. Before we get started, I just want you to know a couple things. So first off, this session is being recorded. So you will be able to access it on the Emory YouTube channel within the next 72 hours in case there's anything that you miss or you want to revisit, including maybe the slides. If for some reason we experience technical difficulties, please be patient as we try to resolve them. As we all know, the virtual world is not perfect. And lastly, please post all of your questions using the Q&A tab. We're going to be presenting information first, so we've got a slideshow prepared, and then we're going to allow 15 to 20 minutes at the end for questions. So make sure you use that Q&A tab. Go ahead and type your question. You can ask it, as yourself or anonymously, and we'll see that and we'll try to get to all of the questions. All right. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my colleagues, starting with Frank Gartner.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Gartner. I'm the Senior Associate Director of Academic Advising in the Office for Undergraduate Education at Emory College, and really excited to be here with all of you tonight.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Jolena Palm, and I am one of the assistant directors in the Academic Success Center in the Emory College of Arts and Sciences. And I'm very excited to be here with you all tonight. And I'm looking forward to sharing about the resources that my office offers.
Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Gibbons. I'm the Director of Pre-Business Advising and Admission. And so I will be here to share all about the opportunities at Goizueta Business School. Thrilled that you're here. Can't wait to get to know you a little bit.
Congratulations, everybody, and thanks as well, like my colleagues said, in joining us today. I'm Celeste. I am over at the School of Nursing at Emory, and I'm the Director of Admission, Financial Aid, and Student Services over there. So I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about our nursing programs later.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ed Good. I'm Director of Experiential Learning with the Pathways Center.
Excellent. And I will say one of the best parts for me about working at Emory are these fantastic colleagues, because I interact with all these people on a regular basis, and they all work really hard to help you make the most of your Emory experience. So what are we going to do today? All right. So tonight, I'm going to shift this over. Hang on one second. The joy of Zoom. We're going to consider if Emory is the right fit for you. We want you to learn more about us, maybe ask some questions to help you to figure out if Emory is going to be the ideal place. We hope that it is. We're going to explain a little bit of what your degree will consist of and what you're going to do in order to earn your degree. We'll talk about many of the resources that are available to you to help you maximize your experience. We'll talk a little bit about what your first semester schedule might look like to give you a sense of how that, how that might be. And I think we're going to do a lot of focus on intellectual curiosity and exploration. This is one of the parts of college life that I love the most, is helping students to figure out not only maybe what they want to study, but who they want to be. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. All right, that's me. I've already introduced myself, so there you go. Moving right along. So we don't expect that you're going to know who you want to be at the end of your Emory journey when you start. Okay, this is a work in progress, and we're going to talk about a lot of different resources we have to help you to explore and figure out what are your unique talents, what do you bring, what do you like doing, how do you collaborate with others. And I like to think about your Emory experience as helping you to grow intellectually in terms of what you're learning, but also, as I mentioned before, grow as a person. It's like figuring out like what are your values and who you want to be. And maybe the work that you want to do might be tied, we hope, perhaps to those values themselves. And so that's kind of our hope during these 4 years, is that we're going to help you to answer a lot of the questions that you might have right now. So your academic experience at Emory, you can be enrolled in any of the schools we've talked about. I think all of us work, together to these things to help you to think critically. That's a term we throw out a lot. Basically meaning, how can you analyze information, come up with creative problems, be able to separate out the significant from insignificant, or maybe correct from less correct information. But obviously preparing for your future, what you might do after you earn this degree at Emory. We want to offer you opportunities to take classes and subjects that you maybe have never studied before, maybe even thought you never would study before. But we have some really cool fields here in the college in particular, like linguistics, that is not often offered in high schools. And I think a really cool major. And finally, we want to help you to develop relationships with faculty. Some of you may have very close relationships with the teachers in high school, but I think you're going to find that when you come here, many of the faculty will really relate to you on an adult level. Obviously, you're not going to be on the same level because these people have, PhDs, terminal degrees, incredible experiences in the world they're going to share with you. But they're going to talk to you as adults and help you to navigate your life that way. I think it's going to look different than how it looks right now in high school. So some of the ways that your social experience here is going to be different, perhaps, than high school, depending on where you went to high school. Emory is, we love to tout this fact, but it is true. It is a very diverse campus. Last year, nearly 20% of our incoming first-year students were coming from a different country. Okay, so probably most people you're going to high school with are coming from places around you, maybe the same city, same county, that kind of thing. But you're going to meet people from all over the US and all over the world. And that diversity of thought, I find that really exhilarating, helps me to grow and learn every day as well. And I'm pretty old, as you can see. We're larger than most high schools. Your incoming class is probably going to have, our goal is around 1425. That's like 4 times as big as my high school class was. I mean, like the freshman class number is like my whole high school. And so I love that, because it's not so big that you feel like you're lost in the sea of thousands, but it's not so small that everyone knows your business. You'll find you can do your own thing at Emory, I think, and find your own way and feel supported in the community that we have. And another big thing I love about Emory is the relationships, the friendships you're going to build with your peers here. I've worked at Emory now for over 30 years. I have many alumni friends, including Anna right here on the panel. Many of my alumni friends have met their best friends in life at Emory. Many of them have found jobs. They work with people from Emory, and even made connections with alumni they didn't even know before, who helped them explore what they wanted to do career-wise as well. So it's going to be hopefully a tremendous experience on all these levels for you. More pictures, okay. Outside of class, we have many different opportunities for you to grow. Not doing simply like book learning. And you can see here we've highlighted 5 different ways, and many of these may have been offered to you. I don't know if many of you have studied abroad in high school, but we do have many programs, at least in the college and the business school. The nursing school, probably not as much, because you really need to do clinical stuff on site. But opportunities to travel to different countries and study there. Ed My colleague here is going to talk a lot about helping you with internships and research, many opportunities. Many of you might be looking at Emory because of the tremendous number of research opportunities that exist here. I hear this from students all the time. The CDC is right next door. We have a medical school. Most students who are seeking research find research opportunities within the first 2 years, from what I have seen. Again, I wish I had stats, but that's my experience. And a zillion student organizations, new ones are being chartered every day, I swear. Like there's like 600 different clubs. You can find people doing all kinds of things where you can meet others with similar interests and have fun. And we have a very strong volunteer program here as well. There's a number of clubs as well as an office called Volunteer Emory, where you can get involved and do service learning. Self-exploration. So again, as I mentioned earlier at the beginning, this is perhaps my favorite part of Emory, is that while you're learning in the classroom and learning through these different activities, you're going to learn as much about yourself as you're going to learn from the books and the people around you. I think I look at Emory as sort of like a living laboratory. We're all interacting with each other and we're teaching each other, we're learning from each other. You will be amazed at the person that you are when you leave Emory compared to who you were when you started. And what that looks like for you is probably going to be unique to you. And that's what I love, is talking to graduating students about their 4 years at Emory, or sometimes 3.5 years, and how they've grown and how they've changed. And we are excited to help you to figure out what that path is going to be for you. All right, so I keep blocking my screen. So for a degree in the College of Arts and Sciences, which is where I am, I'm going to move my people to the other side. You need 126 total credit hours in order to graduate. And you can see down here, credit hours, basically you get 1 for every hour of class that you're in per week. So if you have a class that meets, the way we do it is actually about 2.5 hours, earns you 3 credit hours. A Monday, Wednesday, Friday class of 50 minutes every day is 3 credits. A Tuesday, Thursday class meets for 1 hour and 15 is 3 credits. We do have some 4 credit hour and some 5 credit hour classes as well. Got a little bit more information here. So about 43 of those credit hours, I need to move my screen over here again. Our 43 credit hours are required to complete your general education requirements. We have general requirements that you need to complete regardless of the school that you're going to matriculate to, whether you stay in the college or whether you go to GWETA or to the nursing school. So about 43 of those credit hours will be covered with the GERs, as we call them. Okay, and then majors in the college can vary between 36 to 66 credits. Some of our Bachelor of Science degrees in the hard sciences require a lot of credit hours. And then finally, you have room in your schedule for classes that we call electives. And there's 2 different ways we define that. One of them could be classes that you get to pick within your major. And then the other one are classes that are unrelated to what you're studying, things that just look interesting to you. And we actually really encourage students to take one purely elective class in their first semester, just to explore something new, to see if you'll find something new that you like. So we currently have a new GER plan, GER meaning General Education Requirements. The students that started in 2022 or earlier on the old plan, we call that the Gold Plan, but you and the current first year students are on the Blue Plan. And I'm not going to go over all of this, but you can see there's a lot of categories. We have some time limitations. We have a couple things you need to complete in your first year, then another set in your second year, and another set in your third year. I'm going to focus a little bit more on the first year requirements because those are the most important, I guess, for you as a potential incoming student. But I do want to highlight the breadth of these courses is we want you to have both kind of like a broad education covering a lot of different areas within Emory College, but also a deep education in your major or majors. Okay, so it's kind of breadth and depth are the things that we're looking at in terms of how we've set up our academic program. I think the next slide is going to cover these. Yeah, there we go. So first year requirements. Everyone must take 2 classes in their first semester. ECS 101 is basically our orientation class. It's designed to teach you how to be successful at Emory, introduce you to resources that you're going to need on your journey to be successful. And then Health 100, I describe that as sort of strategies to stay healthy, to maximize your performance, sleep, stress management, exercise, those kinds of things, mental health, because you'll need those things. I think the Many of you have been through very rigorous experiences in high school. It can increase in some ways in college. And so, but your ability to manage that is also going to increase. So don't let that scare you. Then in your first or second semester, you need to take a first year communication class, which is basically a writing class. A first year seminar, I love these. First year seminars are small classes of about 14 to 18 students, usually with a tenured faculty member teaching a subject that the faculty member is really passionate about. Students generally love these classes. And we also require people to take one PE class during their first 2 semesters. We're trying to help you to incorporate some form of activity into your daily life to help with stress management and your general well-being. And that's why the PE class is there in your first year. Gotta move my row of faces again, back and forth. So majors and minors, you are required to complete the requirements of one major in order to graduate from Emory College. We have a zillion to choose from. Okay, well, more than 80, how about that? But it feels like a zillion to me. There's a lot of them, lots of choices. And that can make it more difficult for some students because there are so many good choices. We also offer more than 60 minors as well. And a minor is going to have fewer requirements than a major. I would say major requirements are generally, from what I've seen, 11 to 19 classes, where a minor could be 6 to 8 classes. So it's almost like kind of a half of a major. We've had a lot of discussion about people double majoring. I want you to know that one major is enough, okay? I feel like sometimes students feel like they need to have 2 majors in order to be competitive. There's really nothing that bears that out. I know that the Emory can be a competitive place. If you find one thing that you love, we're really happy about that. If you find a second thing that you love, great, but you don't have to have a second field if there's nothing else that truly interests you. Okay, so know that going in, one major is good. All right. One of the things we also like to talk about at Emory is that your major does not determine the job that you get after graduation. And this is especially true, I think, for liberal arts majors. And we're just going to give you some examples of some recent students who graduated from Emory with these degrees and what jobs they took. And this is data from, I think, from the Pathway Center that Ed can probably talk more about. But a recent history major, for example, got a job as a business analyst with McKinsey, which is one of the top consulting companies in the world. We call this major neuroscience and behavioral biology. You'll hear people call that NBB a lot. So an NBB major became a playwriting fellow. A psychology major became a business analyst at Amazon. A philosophy major is a media associate, and a bio major is a project manager. Okay, so please don't feel that you must choose a major related to the job that you want afterwards. Our job, I feel, is to help you to tell your story in a way that you can convince a potential employer that what you've learned by studying history or NBB or psychology will make you a good employee for their firm. I can talk much more about that. I'm going to keep myself brief because I love to talk, but just keep that in mind that you don't have to like pick a particular major to have a particular job. So building a schedule during your first semester, we want you to go for 15 to 17 credits. The maximum is 19, and I have this conversation. I actually am an academic advisor in my role. I have about 95 first-year students each year. I tell them, please stay within that range. The reason for it is your adjustment to college is like another class. It's going to take you more time to figure out how to do everything on your own. Now, some of you, if you went to a boarding high school, you may have already kind of figured this stuff out. But if you've lived at home, you'll be surprised at the things you need to figure out on your own. So give yourself that space. You also want to leave yourself space to make friends, to join clubs, to be social, to go to speakers and other events on campus. That's where you can learn how, where your place is at Emory. Okay, so do take my advice with this. Stick with that 15 to 17 credit hour number. And we do want you to maybe take some classes toward a potential major or a track like business, but also take some GER classes, things that are different. We try to discourage like all quantitative classes or all liberal arts. Let's have a mixture so you can get the best of both worlds. And like I mentioned, we want you to create that space where you can, make friends and pursue clubs and different kinds of things to help you to really round out your Emory experience. Okay, so resources for your journey. How are we going to help you to be successful. We have tons and tons of resources. I think, honestly, one of the challenges at Emory is learning about all these resources and how to access them, because there's so many. And we're all really willing to help you to define these resources. The first one I love, of course, is your OUE academic advisor. That would be me. I work on a team of about 15 fantastic people. Each one of you coming in will be assigned to an OUE academic advisor. You'll hear from them early in the summer, and you'll have a 1 hour meeting with them, a pre-registration advising appointment in the summer to help get you ready for course registration in August. And you will stay with that person as long as you're in Emory College. If you were to matriculate to the business school or the nursing school, you'll get a new advisor. But I love the people who stay with me at Emory College all 4 years, because I can see them from, the first day of class all the way through to graduation and all the excitement and learning that happens in between. We are also a person who can connect you with other resources as well. So I always tell my students, if you don't know where to go for something, just ask me and I'll be happy to get you connected. We have a lot of other different advisors as well, in addition to the OUE advisor. When you declare a major or a minor, you'll be assigned a faculty member in that field, and that person's going to be your specialist. I always will refer my advisees to their faculty major or minor advisor for questions about those fields, because since we have so many different majors and minors, I can't be an expert in all, 80 majors. We also have track advisors. Anna is an example of that, actually. She'll talk a little bit. If you're interested in going to the business school, and Celeste as well, then you can talk with them about preparations for matriculation to those schools. And then we have other advisors like education abroad advisors if you want to study abroad. We all work collaboratively to help you, and hopefully seamlessly, it's our goal, so that you're going to get the information that you're seeking. So track advising is different from major advising, and I hear students sometimes use these two terms kind of synonymously, but they're not really. A track is something you're preparing for either like later at Emory, like business or nursing, or after Emory, such as medicine or public health or dental, that kind of thing. So we have a pre-business track, and Anna is our wonderful person for that. We have a pre-health advising office that lives within the Pathway Center. My colleague Ed Good will talk about that in a little bit, and they help students that are interested in all of these fields. We have pre-engineering advising through some of my colleagues in OUE, and we have a pre-law advisor who works in the career and professional development, got to get that right, who's interested in helping students interested in going to law school. All right, so other additional supports, again, so many things. So I talked about the faculty advisors, study abroad advisors. I briefly mentioned them if you're interested in going abroad. Career coaches are staff members that work in career and professional development who can help you with resumes, learning how to navigate the software system we have for job postings. We have a document critique service that they can review your resume and your cover letter. They can help you to explore what you might want to major in if you're not sure. National scholarships and fellowships also lives within the Pathway Center with my colleague Ed. Fantastic individuals that can help you prepare for prestigious postgraduate scholarships like the Rhodes Scholarship, the Marshall Scholarship, and other beautiful, amazing experience scholarships, and some scholarship opportunities that exist within Emory as well, not after Emory. And finally, the student leaders you meet, the orientation leaders, your resident advisors and sophomore advisors, and we have academic fellows for international students. They're also great people who can help you to navigate Emory because they've also learned, through their years how to, to get the resources they need. And as I mentioned before, my colleague Ed, who's with us tonight, is going to talk about the Pathway Center later. I'll just briefly give you an overview. The Pathway Center is really designed to help students to accumulate, I would say, the knowledge and the skills for what they plan to do after Emory. And part of that can be things you do within Emory, such as research and internships, and it'll go over all of that. But you can see the offices that live within the Pathway Center. They've made a remarkable impact upon the student experience in the last 2 years. But I'll let Ed really tell you more about that. Some other academic supports, again, I'm kind of like jumping the gun a little bit because my colleague Jolena is here, and she's going to talk about academic coaching, learning assistance, and peer tutoring, and tell you about the great program we have with that. I will briefly highlight the Writing Center. If you are nervous about writing, we require you to take some continuing communications classes that often require a number of papers. We have a really strong set of peer writing tutors that can meet with you to help you with everything from idea generation to reviewing your final draft. I like to highlight this because some people feel like, well, I'm a good enough writer. I don't need them. One of my colleagues, when I first started working in OUE, she used the Writing Center for her dissertation for her PhD in English. Okay, so I feel like if a PhD student in English can utilize a Writing Center, I can utilize it and you can too. All right, so now, after so much talking, I am very happy to pass the microphone over to my wonderful colleague, Jolena, who's going to talk about the academic success programs that we have.
Thank you, Frank. Yes, I'm going to share a little bit more about what we offer here within the Academic Success Center in the Emory College of Arts and Sciences. And if you could go to the next slide for me. All right, thank you. So again, as I mentioned earlier, I am one of the assistant directors within our office. So we have a team of 4 professional staff members and 2 graduate students, and we have hundreds of student staff members as well. And within that, even though our office has a small amount of professional staff members, we serve thousands of students with the various resources and support that we offer. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the types of support. All right, so as Frank briefly mentioned, we have a variety of resources for students. And so we have our workshops and digital resources. And so these workshops are really great because they help prepare students with subjects such as time management, organization, how to study, how to approach your professor, how to prepare for final exams. And so we also are able to tailor the workshops to specific student needs. We offer digital resources as well. So maybe you're not able to participate in a session or you don't have the time to sit through a session. You can download or you can save and review some of our digital resources for a later time. And those resources include anything from time management plans to a study template, as well as we have a calendar that we offer our students where they can map out their plans for the semester. And then we also offer information as far as academic tips and resources. So as a student, we have a lot of resources that we can provide for you. And so we have a guidebook that's a digital guidebook that you can review at your own time throughout the semester. We also offer various groups. We have small groups and large groups for students. And so some of those groups include the workshops that I just mentioned. So we have our small group workshops, we have our large group workshops. So it just depends on the need of the student as well as the type of workshop that we offer. We also have our academic consultation sessions. And so these are sessions where we work with students in a group, in smaller groups, and we kind of talk about their needs, their academic needs, and we work with them to develop resources to support them. And so we do that in a group setting. We also have our study groups. We call it our study buddy groups. And so this is for students that would like a study buddy for their classes. Students can sign up and we will match you with another student from your course or a different section of that course, and you all can get together to study. We'll provide a space for you to study, and we'll provide resources if you request that. So that's actually a new initiative that our office is offering. And then we have accountability groups, and these groups are large groups or smaller groups. And so you work with an upperclassman that is a scholar, and they will sit down with you and help you to just stay on target with your goals for the semester. They'll help you design those goals as well. And we have academic coaching. And so with academic coaching, these sessions are facilitated with professional staff members such as myself, as well as the other assistant director in the office and the director in the office. And we have graduate students that facilitate the academic coaching sessions. And these sessions are very unique as they are customized to the student's needs. So essentially, we sit down and we assess and we have a discussion about what it is that you would like to gain academically or what you would like to develop in academically. And we create an action plan for success with you. and we work with you. It could be a one-time session, so maybe you just want to come in one time for one session and get started, or you can work with us throughout the semester, and we will continue to assist you with your academic plan. Next, we have peer tutoring, and I actually oversee this program. This is a very exciting program. It's completely student-led, and so we have peer tutors that offer tutoring both in person and virtual, depending on the student's needs. And so we offer tutoring for our students in the College of Arts and Sciences. So these are our first year, second year students, or students that have not yet declared their major. And so a lot of our tutoring subjects are geared towards the entry level or the gateway courses that students need to take. And so they're 100 and 200 level classes. We offer a variety of tutoring sessions for our STEM courses, so our math classes, our science classes, and we also offer tutoring for our social sciences, as well as some of our language arts classes. And if you're a student that desires tutoring, and if we don't offer tutoring currently for that particular subject, you can work with me or someone within the office, and we can begin to identify ways to provide tutoring for you for that particular course that you are in need of. And then next, we have our a learning assistant session. I want to go back to peer tutoring really quickly. Peer tutoring actually is one-on-one, and as well as group sessions. And we are piloting as we go into the final exam period. We will have drop-in tutoring for students as well. And this will also be an initiative that will continue on in the fall semester. Next, we have our Learning Assistance Program. This is also a program that is completely student-led. We have hundreds, literally hundreds of learning assistants, and these are upperclassmen that have excelled in the course that they are supporting. And so they provide group review sessions. So these students are hand-selected by the faculty member, and they work closely with the faculty to create study sessions and review sessions for students to attend. And so these are large sessions, and they're extremely helpful as students prepare for final exams, midterms, or any type of exam. Or if you just want to come and get a refresher, maybe there's something you didn't quite understand in the class, and you can work with a student and they can explain it to you from their point of view. So these review sessions are extremely helpful. And similar to tutoring, these sessions are offered for a lot of our 100 and 200 level classes, and they are for primarily the STEM subjects. And lastly, as Frank mentioned, the Writing Center. The Writing Center is not actually a part of the Academic Success Center, but they're one of our great partners. And the great thing, as Frank mentioned, is that you can attend the Writing Center. You can schedule an appointment one-on-one, and they will work to assist you with your writing. And it doesn't matter what level, whether you're an undergraduate student or, as Frank mentioned, a PhD student. So we have a lot of great resources within our office. And again, we partner with other offices to also provide academic resources for our students. And next, I'm going to pass it on to my colleague, Edmund. Oh, I'm sorry, Anna.
I'm next. All right, everyone. Again, my name is Anna Gibbons, and I'm going to share some information about Goizueta Business School with you. Frank, we can probably go on to we can skip me. This is me. I am the Director of Pre-Business Advising, so my role is to work with all students who are interested in studying business at Emory. So primarily once you arrive on campus, I will be your guide and kind of shepherd towards the business school if that's a path that you want to be on. I'm going to talk a little bit about what it means to study business at Emory. So as Frank shared, business is a pre-professional pathway. So it's a track or a program, a little bit different than just a major. So a major is a set of coursework, whereas the BBA program has lots of co-curricular requirements in addition to your coursework requirements that are going to prepare you for primarily careers in business, but we also have students who go on to law school and Teach for America and all kinds of different destinations as well. Our curriculum is going to expose you to multiple areas of business. Frank, if you click once more, I think there's a little more data on the slide. There we go. So this will show you some of the areas you can focus on in our Bachelor's of Business Administration program. So when you study business at Emory and at Goizueta, you will be earning a Bachelor of Business Administration and will be exposed to all functional areas of business. So when you look at those top 5 areas, accounting, finance, marketing, organization and management, information and systems and operations management, or as we call it, ISOM, those are all your traditional kind of functional areas of business. You've probably heard of them before. They will be a little content specific based on those different areas, and you'll focus elective courses in these areas if that's what you're most excited to study, but you also have the opportunity to focus on more interdisciplinary areas of business. So things like those bottom 5, international business, business and society, which is business for good, real estate, entrepreneurship, analytics, and consulting. So students at Goizueta all take a set of core coursework that exposes them to all the functional areas, allows you to explore where you might want to end up in business. And then as you progress through the curriculum, the elective courses that Frank alluded to earlier are where you get to specialize in the area of business most exciting to you. Frank also did a beautiful job of explaining the whole idea of double majors and things like that. At Emory, you can do business and just about anything. We are one of the majors that falls into about the 15 course kind of bucket. So right in the middle in terms of major size at Emory. So if you do want to fit in a double major or a minor, that is fairly common and an opportunity, but we also will echo Frank in that you don't need a bunch of different credentials. The BBA program stands on its own. If you have another passion or interest you want to explore, we would encourage you to do so. One of my favorite stories of a student that graduated last spring, he was on Emory's baseball team. Didn't grow up with a faith tradition, took a religion class freshman year, and he was a religion and business double major. So really kind of found something that he didn't even know he was out there for him and made it part of his experience at Emory. So we love stories like that. We love when you combine passions and interests, but the BBA can stand on its own. This summer, I will be doing track advising that will go into the nitty-gritty of every piece of the BBA curriculum, but today I'm going to focus on general path to the business school and then what you can be doing in your first year. So as you guys know, you are entering the College of Arts and Sciences when you start at Emory, and then you have the opportunity to explore and decide if business is right for you. So in your first year at Emory, you will complete your first year general education requirements that Frank shared, and then you'll also have the opportunity to start some of your business prerequisite courses. Some of these prerequisites are also general education courses, so you'll be doing some double dipping as you explore through the curriculum. We'll want you to attend some pre-business advising. So we have daily drop-in hours for students to come and talk about the path to the business school. You'll meet with a professional advisor like myself, and then also our peer coaches who are upper class already in the business school. And we'll help you decide when you should enter the business school. At Goizueta, you have the opportunity to enter the business school as early as fall of your sophomore year and as late as fall of your junior year. So our curriculum can be accomplished in anywhere from 4 to 6 semesters, and that pacing and pathway is different for every student. There's no urgency. You don't have to enter in fall of your sophomore year, but you do need to choose it by the start of your junior year. We require 4 full semesters in the BBA program. When you are ready to join the program, you'll be completing your prerequisite courses and you'll file a declaration of your intent to come to the business school. So you guys did the hard part. Getting into Emory was the hard part. Getting into the business school is not meant to be prohibitive. So as long as you are successful in your prerequisite courses, we look for an average of A's and B's in those courses, you are able to matriculate to the business school. It's not an application where you're going to be doing essays and recommendations and things like that. You guys are all super bright. If you have an appetite for the quantitative coursework, you're likely going to be able to find your fit in the business school. So what are those prerequisites? I've outlined these in a fall-spring pattern, but not every student is going to look exactly like this. You may already have some of our prerequisite coursework when you start at Emory, and if so, you could move to some other courses sooner. So we do have an economics requirement that can be achieved through a microeconomics and a macroeconomics sequence. So you would take one course and then the other. Or we teach a FIN 201, which is a business economics course, and it is sufficient for the full economics requirement. There's different motivations for why you might choose one path over the other, so that's something we'd be able to talk about. If you do come to Emory with AP credit for micro or macroeconomics, that does also satisfy this requirement. So that's a case where you might move to another course a little sooner. Next, we require everybody to have exposure to statistics, and that can be through many different ways. So you'll see some courses listed here in Emory's curriculum that satisfy our statistics competency requirement. AP statistics is also a way to satisfy the statistics competency. And then we do have a self-directed boot camp for students who maybe took statistics in high school, didn't take an AP course, but feel like they have a pretty strong mastery of it. We have a way for you to take a non-credit bearing boot camp that then allows you to move on to the next course, which you'll see I highlighted for spring for most students, which is Business 350 Data and Decision Analytics. So statistics plus more statistics on your way into the business school. Business 350 is a course that does require you have that competency in statistics before you're able to take it. So often that might be a class that you take in spring of your freshman year, or even fall of your sophomore year before matriculating to the business school. Finally, we require all students have some exposure to Excel. If you are interested in business, there's no such thing as too much Excel. So we like to level set for everyone on their way into the business school. And so students have the opportunity to take a satisfactory, unsatisfactory Excel course, self-directed, it's asynchronous, but it's something that'll kind of get you that exposure and excited about some of those tools you'll be learning in business school. So as you are thinking about your pathway, the next step for you would be to attend our track advising this summer, again, where we'll go really in depth into all the business school offers you. And then we also have a pre-business website that you can go to with your Emory credentials and kind of learn more about different opportunities in the business school. But students who study business at Emory end up in lots of different places, lots of different career fields and things like that. You can read about our career outcomes online if that's of interest to you. Majority of our students go to work when they graduate, but law school is another popular destination. And lots of different things we can talk about to maximize your time in the business school. But I know we're going to grow short on time, so I'm going to pass it on before our time with you is up tonight.
Thanks, Anna. So we can move on to the next couple slides, Frank. Again, that is me as well. I'm the director of admissions, specifically for our pre-licensure programs at the School of Nursing. So the School of Nursing, just like the Goizueta Business School, is a separate little school within Emory University. Most students that come through Emory College or Oxford College are going to be going through our Bachelor of Science in Nursing program. So this is a particular major that you would do, which would be nursing. And when you completed your kind of full time at Emory and the School of Nursing, you would have a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So the goal of this particular program is so that you will be able to finish your program at the School of Nursing, sit and take the NCLEX, which is the National Nursing Board Certification Exam. And upon passing that, you would be a licensed RN and you would be free to start working in whatever sort of unit or healthcare setting that you would want to work in. So you are going to receive classroom experiences with really renowned faculty across a lot of different specialties and research areas. You're also going to receive clinical experiences. You get over 500 clinical hours through the 2 years of the program. To be eligible to actually sit for the NCLEX and to really make sure that you have patient hours. We have partners all over for our clinical experiences all over the metro Atlanta area. Obviously, one of the main ones is going to be Emory Healthcare, but we also send a lot of students to CHOA, which is Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, Northside, and a lot of other partners too. The way that the BSN program works is that you would complete your first 2 years at Emory College or Oxford College. And then during the first semester of your junior year, you would actually matriculate to the School of Nursing to start with our BSN program, and then you'd finish out your last 2 years at the School of Nursing. So it is a 4-semester full-time program. And when you graduate, even though you are a licensed RN, there are a lot of things you can do from there. The world of nursing is really open. There are a lot of different opportunities. There are a lot of different specialties you can pursue if you want to. And there are also a real variety of graduate degrees that you can advance into if you decide that you would like to do that. All right, next one, Frank. So there's really nothing you necessarily need to do your first year other than making sure that you're meeting with your OUE advisor to prepare for the School of Nursing, meeting with your pre-health advisor as well. It's really important that you tell your advisors that you are interested in the School of Nursing so that they can both connect you with us. They can mark you as on the pre-nursing track so that they can help guide you into the correct types of classes that you need to be fitting into your schedule so that you don't get to the end of your second year at Emory and go, whoops, I didn't take any of the prerequisites that were needed for the School of Nursing, which puts you off of a timeline. So it's really important that you're communicating with those multiple different resources that you have on campus, that this is your interest. So you also will need to take prerequisite courses for the School of Nursing. Some of these are going to be specifically offered through the School of Nursing for Emory University students. The ones on campus kind of with the School of Nursing are specifically for Emory College students. But there are also some of our prerequisite classes that you'll take just at Emory College. So chemistry is one of those. The Intro to Statistics course, which is QTM 100, which is also required for the business school and a lot of other majors. So you'll get a real range of kind of classes, and some of our prerequisites do also cross list as general education requirements too. So you don't have to feel like you're overwhelming yourself with both of those categories. All students who maintain a 3.0 GPA will get guaranteed admission into the BSN program, as long as they're, of course, meeting the prerequisite requirements. So it's really important as you're working through your first couple of years at Emory that you are maintaining that 3.0 GPA. You're also going to take some additional electives throughout different GER categories. So you're going to get some opportunity to explore some different major classes, possibly some different departments, different interests that you have before you actually come to the School of Nursing. Next one, Frank. And then you do actually have to apply. So we have both Emory students and also transfer students from other universities that come to our BSN program. You typically are going to be applying at some point during your sophomore year to start at the School of Nursing during your junior year. We only start in the fall, so you would have to start in the fall semester. Again, guaranteed admission, I can't emphasize that enough. It is not a full admission process where we're really looking through all of these different aspects of your application in the same way as when you apply to Emory University. But you do still have to apply so that we can kind of have all of your materials together. So you do have to have a cumulative GPA. So that's all of your undergraduate coursework credits of a 3.0 or above. You do have to complete all the prerequisites with a C or higher. And then you have to complete a certain amount of GERs within your first 2 years that we need for the nursing school. And you do have to complete your kind of first 2 years of credit hours, which is 60 credit hours. And I know this is a lot of specific information. Don't worry about this right now and having to plan this out right now. You'll get a lot of interaction if you are interested in nursing or you're just exploring nursing and trying to figure out if that's something you want to do moving forward. You'll get a lot of interaction with our admission team. And we are on campus at the School of Nursing. So you'll be able to talk with us and meet with us and kind of go through these different requirements too. All right, next one, Frank. And I think passing it over now. Yep. Pass it over to Ed.
Thanks. So last but hopefully not least, the Pathways Center. Again, my name is Ed Good. I'm Director of Experiential Learning. Frank, feel free to advance the slide here. You can go ahead one more slide. So tonight, there's an emphasis with all of this terrific advisement information on making sure you have a smooth transition from high school to college. What we do in the Pathways Center is ensure a smooth transition from college into the career of your choice. So our mission is to provide resources, experiences, relationships for you to help you reach your full potential. As Frank alluded to earlier, we have a center that encompasses 5 different units: career and professional development, which I'll return to in just a moment; undergraduate research programs. And with research programs, we're not just talking about research in the STEM fields like biology, chemistry, and physics. We have those, but also the social sciences like sociology or economics, and also the humanities and performing arts, English, philosophy, dance, and movement studies. With national scholarships and fellowships, as Frank mentioned, We produce Rhodes Scholars, Marshall Scholars, and we're known for producing Fulbright Scholars. For the last 8 years, Emory's been recognized as a top Fulbright producer. Fulbright is a scholarship that helps to facilitate cultural understanding between the United States and 160 countries. There's also pre-health advising. Emory is well known for medicine and for nursing. But in pre-health advising, it's also any career that one can pursue in healthcare. It could be a genetic counselor. It could be veterinary medicine. It could be public health. And then there's experiential learning, which is my shop. And I'll talk about one of our experiential learning signature programs in just a moment. Our vision is to serve as a national model to seamlessly prepare students and connect them to local, national, and global internships. Local internships. Last year, we posted over 3,000 internships in the Metro Atlanta area. Nationally, we posted over 22,000 internships. And globally, I haven't gotten around to counting them, but it is thousands and thousands more. We also help students prepare for graduate and professional school. You may not know this, but around 40% of Emory students graduate and go to a graduate or professional school. We also prepare students for postgraduate fellowships and, of course, full-time employment. And at the end of 6 months after graduation, 97% of Emory students are either in a graduate or professional school or pursuing a full-time job. It's also important to note that we're not just focused on you as a student, we are also working tirelessly with employers, meeting with them wherever they are, inviting them to campus to make sure that we are bringing them into contact with you, bringing these top jobs into contact with our top Emory talent. I mentioned career and professional development. One feature that I'd like to highlight for you is that we are organized around specialized career communities. What happens within those communities? You get job market insights that are current. This isn't somebody that you know, a friend of the family, telling you information that's 10 years old. This is cutting edge. This will help you make decisions about where you might want to apply for jobs. There are also featured jobs. As I mentioned last year, we posted 22,000 internships just in the US alone. As of right now, just as a snapshot, there are currently over 20,000 internships and jobs that you can apply for. To help you make sense of this, we feature jobs, highlight them for you so that they command your attention and you can decide whether or not to apply to them. We also have other featured resources like a dedicated career coach for each specialized career community. Each career community also has its own networking night. If networking feels scary to you, this is the event for you. We help coach you up. So we organize an event where we bring you into contact with Emory alums and industry VIPs so you can work on your networking skills. We also provide targeted news and advice and career and industry guides. Here are those career communities. There are 8. Earlier, Frank mentioned that there are 80 plus majors. You will notice that none of those majors align perfectly with these career communities. And the reason is, as Frank highlighted, it's because it isn't a pipeline, particularly in a liberal arts context. We want you to pursue your academic interests, and then you can explore a career community that you might not think is necessarily affiliated with your major. But for reasons that'll become clear to you when you're here at Emory, through skill development, you can major in chemistry and work in business. You can be a dance and movement studies major, and you can work in health and human services. I've seen it. One of the other things about these career communities, if you want to click forward there, Frank, is you can set up alerts so that when something happens, let's say you're a member of the creative community, the STEM community, the nonprofit education and advocacy community, and there's an employer who's going to come to campus and wants to hold an information session, you will get an alert to make sure that you know it's coming and to remind you the day of that you need to show up. And finally, internship funding. Internships are an extremely powerful tool to help you explore the world of work. For many of us, though, the cost of pursuing an internship can be a barrier. So we have an internship funding program. All of you, if you come to Emory, will be eligible for this one-time award. If you click forward, Frank, it comes in sort of two flavors. One is our Pathways Domestic Award. We can cover the cost of living expenses directly related to the pursuit of your internship up to $3,000 if you pursue an internship experience in the United States if you're a US citizen. And we have another award, the Pathways Global Award. We can cover up to $4,000 of your cost of living expenses if you are a US citizen who's pursuing an internship that's abroad. And by expenses, eligible expenses are things like airfare to and from the internship, housing, food, and sometimes if you need professional attire in order to perform the job, we can also assist with that. Before, Frank, we move to the next slide, let me just say that if you're an international student, let's say that you're a student from Korea, if you're pursuing an internship in Seoul, that would be a domestic experience for you. If you pursue one in New York City, that would be a global experience. So basically, a domestic experience is pursuing an experience in your home country, a global experience, one in a country that's not your home country. And just an overview of what this we were able to do with our funding program last year. 274 students received funding. About a third of them stayed close, with 31% pursuing internships here in Atlanta. 63% of our awardees had medium to high financial aid or high financial need, which we were happy about because it signaled to us that the people who needed the funding were getting it. And those who received the awards were as diverse as our Emory community. They were international students, Asian Pacific Islander, white, Black, Latino, Latina, and multi-ethnic. And with our global internships, we were able to support students as they pursued experiences on 6 different continents. They did internships with sustainable tourism in Nepal. They were part of mobile screening units in Ghana, and also interned with the NASA Jet Propulsion Lab in California. And I think that's it. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
All right, thank you everyone so much. I know we are running a little bit over time, but I wanted to make sure that we could get to a couple of the questions that have been asked. One really quick one is just what our class size is like at Emory. If anyone wants to answer that.
Sure. It can vary from school to school. I'll say that. So in the college, many of your intro classes for popular majors such as biology, chemistry, physics, economics, classes can be relatively large for Emory, like 150 people. However, once you move past those intro classes, class size shrinks. And usually when you're in your major, I would say it's pretty typical for classes to be between 20 and 30, sometimes as small as 15, depending on the major. Anna, maybe, and Celeste.
Sure. I'll just quickly, I can just quickly comment that in the business school, we typically use the size of the classroom as our limit. So that usually is 66 with rare exceptions. So most of your prerequisite courses and then core classes in the business school will be 66 or fewer. As you get deeper in your electives, same for the college, things get smaller. So you'll find smaller class sizes, more like 30 to 40 as you move through some of your elective coursework.
Awesome. All right. I'm gonna answer the next question myself, but then how about students getting access to Microsoft software? I think the answer to that is yes, all students have access.
Yes, you do have access to different software as a student. Microsoft Office is one of those. And I believe some of your onboarding tools you would do this summer would kind of teach you kind of how to navigate getting access to those sources.
Awesome. All right, so next, a student wanted to know if they have to wait to meet with their assigned academic counselor or if they can reach out directly to you, Anna, if they're interested about business.
I'm absolutely, you welcome your engagement now. We do kind of have a pattern of introductory topics to kind of make sure you get everything as you need it. But if you have burning questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And I'm also going to put a link in the chat. If you are coming to campus, we do information sessions specific to the business school when you come, if you're here on a Monday or Friday. So if you're happen to be coming in the next few weeks, you can sign up for those as well.
All right. Okay, so next question is the tuition fee the same regardless of how many credit hours it takes per semester?
Mhm. That is true. You will pay, well, I'll back up. If you are in your final semester and you need fewer than 12 credit hours to complete your requirements, you can take fewer than 12 and you will be charged by the credit hour. But every other semester, regardless of how many credit hours you take, you will pay the same.
Right.
At least in the college.
Okay, are advisors accessible generally during standard office hours, or are they have what is the kind of schedule for being able to meet with them during the day?
Mhm. Again, in the college, I would say business hours, we work basically 8:30 to 5-ish. However, if students are having difficulty finding a time, generally speaking, you will find that you have time during the day. I rarely have a student comes to me and says, like, I am booked from 8 to 5 every day and I can't meet with you. That doesn't happen. So I will tell you, to the student who asks this, you will be able to find a time. And if there isn't a time available on your advisor's calendar, then you can email them and say, I have got a question, but you have no openings. How can I get an answer? And we will help you.
All
And as you
right.
see, we're here at 7 o'clock on Wednesday.
Right.
So we do our best.
We're available for you, all of us here at Emory. All right, so are you limited to one pathway community?
No, I mean, the specialized career communities kind of act as a funnel and as a network. So we like to have that focus, but if you have multiple areas of focus, then you can be a member of multiple communities.
Okay, how easy is it to combine different majors, like things like media arts or psychology and theater, or even create an individual major? I know we have our interdisciplinary major here at Emory where you can basically create your own major working with an advisor.
Mhm. Generally, I would say it is relatively easy to complete two majors. The place where it gets challenging, if not impossible, would be if you wanted to do two Bachelor of Science majors in two different sciences. If a major has, say, like 60 credit hours required, we limit the number of classes that students can count toward multiple majors, usually it's like 2. And so those two majors alone are going to be 120 credit hours. And as you saw earlier in the PowerPoint, there's about 43 credit hours needed to complete the GERs. So I would say that I rarely see that, but a BS and a BA, two BAs, that's generally not a problem. And as Anna said, BBA and a second major in the college. Again, that can be difficult with a BS with a high number of credits, but with a BA, that's many students do that.
Awesome. Okay. How about are the pre-health advising and pre-mentoring programs accessible to admitted students now before the first semester starts, or do you have to wait till you come to Emory?
I'm laughing because I think our pre-health students tend to be among our more eager students. I can tell you that at the events that we will have between now and when you arrive on either the Atlanta or Oxford campus, there will be programming, and I do believe that pre-health advisement will be represented, just as I am representing Pathways here tonight. But in terms of being able to do in-depth advisement, don't worry, you're not missing anything. There is no special information that you're necessarily going to need this summer. I think when you finally there are resources that you can already go to and examine on the website, including the blog that pre-health advisement puts together. But in terms of one-on-one advisement, that's something that experience has taught them. It's reserved for when you finally get to Emory.
All right. I think there was a quick question about, is there a certain type of laptop required for Emory or the business school?
No, there's not. MacBooks or PCs are fine. The only challenges we found is with students that have Chromebooks. Those sometimes aren't sufficient for all the softwares you might need in college. So I would stay away from those if possible.
Okay. How about Oxford College students? What kind of pre-health advising is available for them?
Yeah, the pre-health advisement is robust and it covers both the Atlanta and the Oxford campus. We do programming on both campuses. Our pre-health advisors will physically go to the Oxford campus, and you can schedule advisement via Zoom, virtually, as well as in person. So there isn't a problem with accessing those resources if you're on the Oxford campus.
Yeah, that's great to know. Yeah, Oxford, I think, has they call it the Center for Pathways and Purpose.
Yes.
So they have their own office as well. And then there is one question here about what is the most popular major at Emory. So I have a couple statistics pulled up from last year. Technically, the most popular major is going to be our BBA, our Bachelor's of Business Administration. That's around 13% of students. After that is nursing. That's about 11%. And then we kind of even out around, we've got biology, economics, neuroscience and behavioral biology, psychology, chemistry, human health, quantitative science, and computer science. And of course, like at that point, we're just getting into, we have so many students and so many, divided across our 80 majors or so. So generally when you're coming to Emory, you'll see a wide variety of different types of majors, different mixes and matches, a lot of different people who are really passionate about whatever they're studying. All right. I'll have all of our I've got a couple more questions that just pulled up, and then we'll run through those really quick, and I want to make sure to get you guys out of here by 7:10, okay? Is class registration a struggle if a student is in one of the popular majors?
I'll take that being one of the popular majors. So, we work really hard across the campus to anticipate need and want in classes. So I would say, rank has its privileges in college. So as you progress from freshman to senior, it does get a little bit easier to register for courses, but that's because it's the courses you need to graduate. So, a senior has less bites at the apple because they're about on their way out the door. So we make sure that we get you what you need when you need it. Kind of to what Ed was saying about the advising and things like that. We have a pretty good formula to make sure that you have access to the things you need when you need them to be successful. So we work as hard as possible to navigate those. There are some classes that, you may want in a fall semester and end up taking in a spring semester because of capacity. And that is part of it. That flexibility is a big part of college and dealing with a little bit of ambiguity as well. All skills you need. But generally speaking, you will be able to get the courses you need to be successful throughout your time at Emory. Frank, would you add anything else?
Yeah, I can chime in. The place that we see, I would say, class enrollment pinches, usually in the first few semesters are in biology and chemistry for our pre-med majors. However, both departments will work with students to ensure that you get a spot in a class of both the lecture and the lab. The one caveat to this that I want to make sure people understand is that it may not be the one of your choice. You can't say, I only want to take chemistry at this time. Okay, you have to be willing to be flexible. But because we know that you really need to be on that track and complete those classes in sequence, the departments really will work with you to make sure you can get in. So don't worry about that.
Yeah. I just add a quick note to what Frank had said, because I think it highlights something that's special about Emory. When the chemistry department or the biology department begins to see enrollment spiking, they are monitoring those numbers. And as Frank said, they will start adding sections. They can't add a section tailored to every single person's schedule, but they are very responsive. So that's something that I think Emory is able to provide that maybe not a lot of schools are.
All right, awesome. Yeah, as I'm actually also an Emory and Oxford alum, and I found that class registration, while could be a little bit frustrating at times, was not the worst. The add drop swap period is super helpful, as students will, sign up for maybe a couple too many classes as they're trying to figure out what their schedule is, and then they'll drop out, and plenty of students will come in off the wait list. And if you don't get it one semester, you'll definitely get it, before you graduate. So it'll be fine, basically, is my answer. One last question is about the nursing program. How can you satisfy the prerequisites at Oxford College? And do we get a lot of nursing candidates from Oxford?
Yeah, so I think it is important if you are planning to go to Oxford College, it does require a little bit more planning for the nursing major than if you're at Emory College. Mostly because Emory College is a much larger school and we offer more sections of our prerequisites. We offer sections of our prerequisites for the nursing program every single semester at Emory College. At Oxford College, that's not the case. It's a much smaller campus on purpose. That is the purpose of Oxford College, is for a smaller experience. And so with that, some of the program or some of the classes are going to be offered in sequence. So you do have to take them in the fall or have to take them in the spring. You can't have the option to switch off. So if you already know you're interested in nursing as you're going into Oxford, you definitely want to talk to your advisor about that once you get to Oxford and make sure that you're planning out your prerequisites correctly. But each campus offers all the prerequisites that you need. The only difference between Oxford and Emory nursing prerequisites is the psychology class that we require. So at Emory College, you have to take human growth and development to fulfill that particular prerequisite for the BSN program. At Oxford, they don't offer that class, but they offer child development, and we do take that for Oxford students. But you won't have a problem at Oxford taking the nursing classes as long as you're planning it out. They're all offered there.
All right, well, I want to offer sincere round of applause to all of our panelists. Thank you for all of this really great information. I'm sure that our students and their families have, learned quite a bit about all of the offerings we have at Emory, the pathways you can take, and the resources that you have available to you. If your questions were not answered today, we have posted some of our email addresses in the chat and be happy to follow up with you. You can also find a lot of information on your Emory admitted student page under the resources tab. And then also as a reminder, this recorded session will be posted to the Emory YouTube channel within the next 72 hours. If you'd like to register for other virtual events, please visit our admitted student website. And most importantly, please, if you can, try to visit Emory in person. So we're offering daily admitted student visits throughout the month of April. And then our big admitted student preview day is on April 12th. So if you are able to come visit campus, that's a really great way to connect with current students and just get a sense of if this is a place that you feel you would fit, because we would really love to have you in our community here. I wish you all the best of luck as you decide where you'll make your next college home, and we do hope that you'll choose Emory. But thank you all so much and have a great evening.